Sure. Here's a long retelling of the classic Snow White story with added depth and twists. Snow White and the Enchanted Kingdom. In a kingdom nestled among verdant forests and sparkling streams, there once lived a princess named Snow White. Her mother, the beloved queen, had named her for the purity of freshly fallen snow. With her porcelain skin, lips as red as ripe cherries, and hair as dark as a moonless night, Snow White was a vision of beauty, kindness, and grace. Yet, her story was not one of ease. Snow White's mother passed away when she was but a child. Her father, the benevolent King Alaric, eventually married again, hoping to provide stability and love to his young daughter. But his new queen, Morgana, was not as she seemed. Morgana possessed a heart as cold as the frost that coated the farthest reaches of the kingdom. She was also a sorceress, skilled in spells and potions, but consumed by jealousy and vanity. Her most prized possession was a magical mirror, an artifact of ancient power. Each day, Morgana would gaze into the mirror and ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror would faithfully respond, "You, my queen, are the fairest in the land." But Snow White grew, blossoming into a radiant young woman. Her gentle nature endeared her to all, courtiers, commoners, and creatures of the forest alike. One day, as Morgana posed her daily question to the mirror, the answer shifted. "Queen Morgana, you are beautiful, but Snow White's beauty surpasses even yours." A flash of rage consumed Morgana. She called for her huntsman, a burly and loyal servant, and ordered him to lead Snow White deep into the woods and kill her. "Bring back her heart in this box as proof," Morgana commanded, handing him a small, intricately carved chest. Escape into the woods. The huntsman, though obedient, was not a cruel man. He could not bear to harm the kind and gentle princess. When they reached the forest's edge, he turned to Snow White and confessed his orders. "Princess," he said, tears brimming in his eyes, "I cannot do this. Run. Run far away and never return to the castle. The queen must think you're dead." Snow White, though terrified, thanked him for his mercy and fled into the dense forest. The ancient trees loomed around her, their branches twisting like skeletal fingers. Strange noises filled the air. Owl hoots, the rustle of unseen creatures, and the distant howl of wolves. After hours of wandering, Snow White stumbled upon a clearing where a quaint cottage stood. It was small but inviting, with its thatched roof and flower-covered windowsills. Desperate for refuge, she entered. Inside, she found 7 small chairs arranged around a table covered with tiny plates and cups. Everything about the home was miniature, but impeccably tidy. Exhausted, she tidied up the cottage further before collapsing onto the beds arranged in a row. The 7 companions. When night fell, the inhabitants of the cottage returned, 7 dwarfs who worked in the nearby diamond mines. Their names were Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey. At first startled to find a stranger in their home, the dwarfs quickly warmed to Snow White when they heard her story. "You may stay here as long as you wish," Doc, the leader, declared. "But you must be careful. The queen's power reaches far and wide." Grateful, Snow White agreed. She kept the house tidy, prepared meals, and brought joy to their humble lives. In return, the dwarfs taught her about the forest's secrets, the plants that healed, the streams that sang, and the hidden magic woven into the land. Morgana's wrath. Back at the castle, Morgana's mirror revealed Snow White's survival. Enraged, Morgana decided to take matters into her own hands. Disguising herself with dark magic, she transformed into a stooped peddler woman. She conjured a poisoned apple, its surface gleaming as if polished, but infused with a deadly curse. Disguised, she made her way to the dwarf's cottage. Snow White, though warned by the dwarfs, was taken in by the old woman's pleas. "Dear girl," Morgana croaked, "won't you taste this apple, the sweetest in all the land?" Unaware of the danger, Snow White took a bite. The poison worked instantly. With a gasp, she collapsed, the apple falling from her hand. Morgana cackled triumphantly before vanishing into the forest. Love's true kiss. When the dwarfs returned and found Snow White lifeless, they were heartbroken. Believing her to be dead, they placed her in a crystal coffin in a glade surrounded by flowers and watched over her day and night. News of the beautiful maiden in the enchanted glade reached a neighboring prince, Alaric. Curious, he ventured into the forest and was struck by the sight of Snow White in her crystal coffin. Something about her seemed familiar, as though her beauty and spirit had called to his soul long before they met. The prince asked to see her more closely. As he leaned in to bid farewell to the maiden who had so captivated his heart, he pressed a gentle kiss to her lips.